Hi there. My name is Cheryl Ingram. I am a senior consultant with Tom Ferry, and I love connecting with our clients and just getting their success stories. So today I have Peter Rader. So hi, Peter. How are you?
Hi, Cheryl. How are you? I am great. Thank you.
I am good. Good. Thank you for asking. So tell me where you are located.
I work out of Westchester County, New York. I have an office in White Plains. So it's Peter Rader of the Rader team. And I also work out of an office in Stamford, Connecticut. So I cover Westchester County, New York and Fairfield County, Connecticut, but not every town in Fairfield County.
Okay, got it. So yeah, we have a lot of clients like that do multiple locations. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. How long have you been in coaching? Kind of how did that start for you?
Um, that's a great question. So I got into coaching. I made it through the economic downturn in 2008 very, very well. And in 2011, my business kind of imploded. And at that point, I was thinking of leaving the business altogether. And I was at a prospect mortgage event in Rybrook, New York at the Rytown Hilton. And Donna Rachi from Prospect Mortgage introduced me to Tom personally after the event. And Tom convinced me to not leave the business because I was going to leave the business. My house was on the market. We didn't really have, we were struggling
Yeah.
and it just wasn't working for me anymore after many, many years. He handed me a book. He handed me his number. He said, text me and work with me for 90 days. And then I went to an event. I actually went to, I did all of that. And I didn't miss a day because he said, don't miss a day or it's over. So I was petrified to miss a day because I was petrified to fail at this stage of the game. And I really didn't want to change careers.
Yeah.
And a few months later, it was about the 90th day, I was at Blueprint in Stamford, Connecticut. And I remember I was going to the event. I actually paid for that event to go to that event. So I wasn't a coaching client at that point. And at
Okay.
the end of the event, he came up to me and he said, what'd you think? I said, this is amazing. And he said, okay, here, we're going to sign you up for core and we're going to do this. And like, Cheryl, I had no money. I put it on my credit card. I
Yeah.
got home. My wife, Lisa, who is my rock, handed me the phone, said, you need to call up and cancel. We don't have enough money to pay the mortgage.
Mm.
And I told her that this was either we don't have the money or this helps us get the money.
Mhm.
And there's a tear coming from my eye. And I signed up for core. I had a great coach that was assigned to me,
Okay.
and I worked with her, Marion Kern, for many, many years. And after about 6 months, I jumped right into Elite because my business was exploding.
Okay.
Once every other week was not enough for me.
Okay.
I needed strategic guidance. I needed somebody to kind of put the blinders on, for
Mhm.
lack of a better way to do it. I was all over the place.
Okay.
And so my focus became very business oriented. And I haven't looked back. I mean, it's now 8.5 years, maybe 9 years.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact date, but I do remember the event. And you know, I owe my career right now to this ecosystem and to
Mhm.
coaching and to Tom Ferry.
So just out of curiosity, so you mentioned the ecosystem, right? And it's something that I believe is a massive part of the success of all of our clients. Tell me your experience, like why does it mean so much? What does it do for you? What does it feel like?
Mm. Yeah. So when I joined, my first elite retreat was 365 people in the Palm Desert.
Huh.
It was very, very intimate.
Yeah.
And I really, that first event was when I was a elite client, was
Mhm.
really the first event. And I was at Sales Edge with Bill, and I go to a lot of Sales Edges. Unfortunately, we can't go right now, but online. Um, that event really became like everybody became family. You meet the faces that you see on, the names of, and that you hear about and you hear being spoken about,
Mhm.
and like I'm a little guy, I'm in awe of these people.
Yeah.
And from the very, very top of the heap, Jill Biggs, Josh Rubin, Maureen Folan, whoever it may be. I'm just taking some names. If I left any out there, even Tim Smith.
There's a lot. Well, you're
there.
talking what, 6,000 plus coaching clients. There's a lot of names.
and their family.
Yeah.
You look at the intimacy of what goes on on the Facebook pages between elite and core, and like the advice that comes out of it, and people are willing to pick up the phone and speak with you and guide you, and I got to tell you, these are genuine friends, and I'm in awe of some of them. I mean, like, I look up to them, and they treat me as if I'm one of them. They help me strategically when I need it, and they're there when I need the support. And so I give that back out to everybody as well. I mean, we're family. Tom does this from his heart.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't need to work anymore, right?
Probably.
So I know he does this from his heart.
He
and
does.
Everybody in the ecosystem that I've ever met and connected with, that's the way it's been. And on top of it, the ecosystem has become a lead pillar for me. I've had 9 incoming referrals this year, and I've given out 3, and now about to give out 4 and 5.
So just this year alone, so the last 8 weeks, you've got 9 referrals from the network.
I have 9 incoming referrals from the network.
Wow. And you're about to give out number 4 and 5.
I'm about to give out number 4 and 5.
That's amazing. I mean, so that's kind of a no-brainer, right? That alone pays for your coaching.
So if you want to talk about return on investment.
Yeah. Talk to me about that.
I just had a closing. It was a Tom Ferry referral from the J Pitts group out in Kentucky. And the commission was that I received for the listing was $22,650. I'm sending them 25% happily, and Jeremy is going to get a knife as well, because I've implemented a program to really kind of work this. If it's a lead source, you have to work it. You can't just say, give it to me. You have to be out there. You have to have a system to really keep track of people, to network with people, to connect with people, to stay in touch with them on a regular basis. And I'm good at that. And now I'm going one step further, and I'm sending out some gifts. I give out Cutco knives. So I bought a separate set of Cutco knives just to send to incoming referrals from the ecosystem, from the other agents in the ecosystem.
Oh, I love that.
That one check pays for this year and some of next year.
Okay, yeah, almost half of next year.
It's a no-brainer. I got 9 of those working right now, and
that's amazing.
As I said, 4 or 5 coming in, and this is just the beginning. My goal this year was to double last year's. Last year I did 9 transactions inside of the ecosystem.
Okay.
So my goal was to get to 20.
Okay.
And I think that goal may be a little too small. Tom's going to tell me,
you're
thinking too small.
Yeah, you're thinking too small. Yeah. I agree with that. So interesting. So the gifts, I love that, because it is about giving back, right? And I love that our agents share everything that they're doing. I think you mentioned that, and I see that consistently. Nobody's going, oh no, I'm not going to tell you my trade secret. And I know even clients who maybe live 10 minutes from each other are still, hey, try this or do this. And I just think that's extremely powerful, because I know in this industry, I hear consistently, oh, well, nobody's helping me. Nobody's telling me anything. They won't share, they don't want to train their competition, so to speak. Right. So I love that our network is like that. And I love that they share everything. Talk to me about you and I were talking previously about you making calls, because what I hear a lot of times consistently is, well, I don't really call my database, or I don't make those phone calls, or I don't, I'm talking about just people on your phone, right? Like just that alone. What's been your experience?
Guilty is charged, right? Guilty is charged. Tom just called me out on that, on Cheryl, on Blueprint.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm good at making contacts.
Okay.
I'm not perfect at making contacts.
Sure.
And so so when all of the COVID and the lockdowns happened, Tom put this program Pivot on, and there was something every day whether it was Jason, whether it was Bill, whether it was Keeping Current Matters, whether it was Steve Harney. There was something every day. And the one thing that really, really struck me very, very to my core was the tonality of the conversation needed to change. And a lot of agents were still out there. Some buried their heads between their legs and said, "Oh my God, we're locked down. We can't do anything." And to some point in New York, I'm still not able to do a lot. We're allowed to do showings. I'm allowed to go on listings. I can't cold call. But I started calling people just to say hello. And now I am going through, I have 1,267 contacts in my phone. And I've been challenged to touch base with every one of them. And I'm going to admit some of them may not want to speak to me. Many of them are agents and contractors. And I started today and I'm making my phone calls. And I'm not even talking about business. I'm just saying, "Hey, Cheryl, it's been a while since I spoke and I apologize for that. But I'm going through my contacts because I know these are crazy times. And I just wanted to reach out and say hello, see how you're doing." And the conversations have been unbelievable. I've shed some tears with some people. I've had some laughs with some people. I've connected with friends and agents and local agents, and you hit it. If there's a local agent in the ecosystem, we're friends. And we all, we're friendly competition, right? You got to have another team to play with if you want to play the game.
Correct. So have you gotten listings, or what's been the results of the phone calls so far?
Yeah. So during the beginning of COVID, I did a lot of Zoom calls. I was able to sell 7 properties in March through like April, May of last year. June, when I was back out there, I sold 10 houses in 1 month, which is like by far my best month ever. And yeah, so I started making calls Wednesday right after Blueprint. Tom challenged me to call 20 people a day for the next 3 months. He said 60 business days. I'm going to do it on Saturdays and Sundays. I've made my calls on Wednesday and went to about 8:30 at night. And unfortunately, I didn't get dinner on the table. I got yelled at, but that's okay. I got 2 listings from 20 calls.
You got 2 listings, so 10%.
From 20 calls.
That's what they say.
That's 10%, right? And not only is it a listing, it's a referral going out to a Tom Ferry ecosystem agent in Florida. I've already know who that's going to. Yesterday's calls yielded me and Facebook posts, and I'm trying to be more visible and just out there. Yielded me another listing, and I've already spoken with that person who owns the house, and it was my dog breeder who lives in northern New Jersey, who has somebody in Mahopac, New York, who wants to sell their house, and that person's going to Beaufort, South Carolina. And I'm still looking for somebody in the ecosystem for Beaufort, South Carolina, but somebody in the ecosystem is going to get a great buyer out of it as well. And I'm going to get a fabulous listing.
I got you.
Today's calls, and so I cheated a little today because Fridays I go for physical therapy in the morning. I work out with my trainer, and a couple of people come to my house and work out in the garage because we won't go to the gym. So I had conversations with all of them. And and then I went to physical therapy and was speaking with my physical therapist and a couple people there. And I may have a referral for somebody in Milford, Connecticut, in our ecosystem, just by asking.
In 3 days. This is just in 3 days.
3 days. 3 days. I still have, I'm gonna be honest, I have 8 more calls to make today. So it's 5:30 East Coast time, and I will be in touch.
You'll get it done. You'll get it done.
I will get it done. So there's no way I'm sending a check for $10,000 to Tom Ferry. And the funny thing about it is I'll have it to do it, right? But I look forward to
because you have a bet, right? You have a bet.
I have a bet with Tom. And when people said you bet $10,000, like, I'm telling people what I did. I put it on Facebook. I put it on the ecosystem. I put it on my personal page. I put it on Instagram. And I got people calling me up and saying, "Are you out of your mind?" And I'm like, no, I have no intention of losing this bet.
Correct.
And it woke me up. right?
Good.
So,
Good. Good. Good.
and that's a typical Tom Ferry thing, right? He does that with other people all the time. And I've never seen
Right.
anybody ever have to send him a check. So I'm not going to be the first. Tom, I'm
Good.
not going to be the first. I have every intention to do this. If results keep going the way they're going, Tom keeps talking about that 10% number in your ecosystem,
10%.
in,
It
in
is what it
your in
is.
your contacts.
Yep.
So okay, my phone is 1,267 contacts. Some of them don't want to speak to me. Some of them are agents. Some of them are contractors. I'm still even
Right.
calling, even local agents. I'm calling them.
Yep.
I've called a couple of in the ecosystem that are in there. My assistant sent me yesterday. He heard about the bet because he saw my Facebook post. And without me even asking him, he put an Excel sheet together with names and phone numbers. He said, "You'll never run out of a phone number.
Amazing.
Keep calling." And he says, "I
Amazing.
got your back. I'll see you in 3 months." And that's
Oh
what he
my
said to me.
goodness. Okay, so you're going to get a lot of business from this bet.
I'm good. My intention this year is, so last year I had 40 closed and pending
Okay.
at the end of the year, which is my best year ever.
Okay.
My intentions this year are to double that again.
Nice.
This is exciting. It's going to be a little bit of work. I probably will have to hire some more back end help.
That's okay.
And that'll be fine. We'll do what we need to do to bring on people. My assistant who has the same last name as me, who's not related to me, is ready for it. He's getting his license. The agent on my team is ready for it. I told him, you need to be ready to start to go on every type of appointment there is. We're building a SEAL team. And I told them, come along for the ride, and everybody will do really, really well.
I love it. So let me ask you a question. So a lot of people wonder, right? I get this question often. What is coaching, do for me? And I know what I say because of the experience that I have with our clients and our coaches. Because I think they're trying to compare it. Here's the thing. I think they're trying to compare it to a lot of other programs out there that are more training programs, kind of the same for everybody. Yep. So, if you're comparing things like that, and I'm sure in your years of real estate, you've tried a bunch of other stuff, right? What would you say is, the difference for you?
So we're in a changing industry, right? What the change is happening. It's out there. And usually by the time most agents get that there's been a change, there's another change. And what coaching has done for me, it's given me a strategic partnership. And my coach, David Parker, is my partner here. And it allows me to bounce ideas. He keeps me on track and calls me out on the stuff that I should be doing that I'm not doing. And I'm not perfect at this, right? It's a journey. And we come up with plans and ideas to implement. And so there's so much stuff to do, and you have to kind of, Blueprint is the perfect event. It's the roadmap.
It is.
And Blueprint this week and Blueprint 9 years ago,
right?
Totally different.
Of course.
Like totally different. Yvonne said to me when at the end of the day on Wednesday, like I had my head like this. I like my head was spinning. She's like, I know Peter's head is spinning and he's trying to hold it on right now. I am such a show me type of person. Yeah. So my coach has been able to help me with that. I see what other people, they post what they're doing and what's working and successful. And so we can R&D that, and it's not research and develop, it's rip off and duplicate.
Correct.
Everybody says do it freely. If I have a question, if I have a thought, if I have a concern, I can put it out there, and I'm going to get honest evaluation of that, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm going to get honesty here. Yep. I wouldn't give up. My wife says to me all the time, do you really still need to be in coaching? Because I'm doing fairly well, right? I'm doing
Right.
okay.
Right.
And the answer is, I won't give up coaching. There's not a chance.
Yeah.
And part of it is me also being able to give back to people. Even if they're not in coaching, a lot of my peers look up to me.
Mhm.
And while, even though I'm very humble and I don't think that that's kind of like what they ask my advice, I give free advice. And
Good.
even to people in my market, I give
Yeah.
free advice.
Good.
I've learned that from Tom,
Mhm.
right? I've had a couple people leave my team over the years, and he says, let them go and wish them well.
Correct.
And so my last assistant before Matthew, she was a cashier at a sandwich shop. The assistant before her hired her, and she was commuting an hour and a half each way to come work for me by bus and train every
Wow.
day, and didn't miss many days.
Wow.
And so I helped her get her first apartment. I wrote her a great
Nice.
recommendation. She finally got a job closer to home. And when she called me up, she's like, "Are you coming into the office?" And I kind of knew eventually something. I was like, "I'm not coming in today. I'm out on appointment." And she said, "I have something really important to tell you." And I said, I kind of know what you're going to say, and I will do everything to help you.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I've already got resumes lined up to interview." And like
Mm.
she says, she set it all up. Right. And then so when
Amazing.
this kid with the last name Rader walked in, he was hired just because he walked in a suit and tie, and I don't wear a suit and tie, and he was hired, and he's been great.
Nice.
So,
Good.
so I wouldn't have had that grace and composure without having some guidance, and learned that somewhere.
Sure.
And we learn from the top down.
Yep.
And I've learned from the top down, and I take every bit of advice from every event, and I try to compartmentalize it
Yep.
and put it into play. And sometimes it's like you don't even know where to start.
Mhm.
Coaching helps me know where to start.
Exactly.
Because then I go back to my coach. I said, this is kind of like the 10 things I'm looking at.
Yep.
Let's pick one, right? And start
Perfect.
there and then go to the next. And one may need 2 and 3 to go with it, but
Perfect.
let's pick one.
Got it.
So yeah, there
Okay,
you have it.
good. So, okay, so my last question, and I think I've kind of already gotten the answer from you, is like, people are like, well, I have to wait till I get a closing to get a coach. Like, I hear that one a lot. I'm not putting it down. I understand the mindset, right? I do. What would you say to that person who's not sure if this is going to work? They're scared, like, what would you say?
I'm going to probably take something from Tom here.
Okay.
What got you where you are today isn't going to get you where you want to be.
Yep.
I signed up for coaching. I put it on an American Express card that was maxed out. I wasn't even sure the charge was going to go through.
Okay.
My business was failing, and I've been in the business now this year 31 years. So
Okay.
we're going back 9 years ago. And I was always a top producer on my own volition. I did this, and I took a leap of faith, and I wasn't sure. Honestly, I thought this was all hocus pocus too.
Sure.
It's not.
Mhm.
It's not. If you want to be successful, every good ball player has a coach.
Mhm.
Michael Jordan, right? If we go to the Michael Jordan, 1,000 baskets a day, right?
Yep.
And like the consummate professional, right?
Yep.
Tiger Woods, 1,000
Yep.
golf balls a day.
Yep.
And they had coaches analyzing exactly what they were doing every step of the way.
Yep.
And business is no different. If you want to be in the game, you have to have somebody to strategically be behind you. And not only do you have one person,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that the ecosystem between Team Plus, Elite, and Core is probably close to 10 or 11,000, maybe 12. Maybe I'm even off.
It's a lot of people that you
It's a
have at
lot
your
of people.
fingertips. Mhm.
Every one of those people wants to help you as an agent succeed.
Mhm.
And start with Core. You'll see your business will grow instantaneously. You'll be able to
Yeah.
afford Elite,
Yep.
and don't look back.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what, I love hearing people's stories. It's like my favorite thing to do is just to get the stories. Because more than anything, I like to see people succeed. It's kind of my happy place. And I just want to thank you for your time. I know you've got a lot of phone calls to make, and you're not.
I still have 8 phone calls to make. We're going to make them though. And you know what, Cheryl, I'm very humbled. Right.
Yeah.
I know Tom brought me up for questions. I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And the only silly question is the unanswered question.
Yeah.
I'm really humbled. I mean,
Good.
when does a CEO, and I get that's what his job is, of a company, take personal interest in not only his team, and you guys are all phenomenal, right? Not only his team, but everyone he services. I'm willing to bet you that if he's met you once, he knows your name. He will not forget your name in your face.
True.
And you don't see that. I don't even have that in my own company.
Yeah, I will tell you, his memory, just watching him as much as I've been around him interact with people, and he does.
I'm like in tears.
He'll meet them again and he'll go, hey, you mentioned your son, Bobby, last time we met. How's Bobby doing? Right. And it does blow my mind because he is that genuine, and I don't know honestly how he does it, but he does care. It's extremely genuine and it's real. And I'm with you. I love our network, and I love that, if somebody asks questions, then they can reach out to somebody like you and ask, hey, like, give me your feedback here, and you're going to help, and you're going to share your experience, and vice versa. I think that's a big piece of this.
It is huge. I'm going to leave you with this probably. Yeah. And I remember, I want to say it was a summit 2 years ago. I didn't go to the last summit because I was concerned. I think it was 2 years ago, and a young lady named Madeline was there with her father, and she was making cookies, and Tom, she asked Tom a question, and Tom, I think, made a bet with her, and a young girl. It might have been 3 years ago, and this year she put something out on the Facebook in our ecosystem that she's in college, she's doing a program, and I connected with her at that event, right? This is a 15, 16-year-old kid standing in front of 6,000 people asking a question. And when I was 16, I was hiding in the corner. And so she put this thing out that she's doing this project, and real estate is her project. She was doing something, I forget what it was exactly. And I chimed in, I said, I'm happy to let you interview me. That's what this is all about.
I love it.
That's what this is all about.
Giving back.
And she called me and interviewed me. I don't know whatever happened to it, but and so we're family here, right? Yeah. You're my family. I know if when I see you at an event that hopefully I'll be able to get a hug by then, and hopefully we won't have. I know.
I miss that. I miss all of our clients. And I get that a lot from the relationships that I'm able to build too. It's like, Cheryl, I want to see you. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, we can't yet. So,
and I don't know if you see it, I've got tears running down my eyes because even just this interview has brought so much back for me, right? And why I joined to begin with, and where I am now, and where I want to be in 5 years. I know exactly where I want to be in 5 years.
Good.
And I'm honored.
I love that. Oh, thank you. That touches my heart. Seriously, that's it's amazing to see us be able to be that close as a network in connection with each other, because it does mean a lot, especially in today's times, right? We need to be connected. So
people are, I'm a people person. I could be alone by myself perfectly fine, but I'd much rather be around people. So when we're out in California and we're doing all this stuff, I'm on New York time. I'm done at 7 o'clock at night. I'm up at 2 o'clock.
I know. You've got calls to make too.
I'll get them done. And but this is about people. This is really about people. People helping people. And I can't describe it any more simpler than that. And besides people helping people, it works.
Yep. So if anybody wants to get in contact with you, if you're open to that, how should they do that?
Thank you. That's great. So my cell phone is 914
Okay.
523-9732. I
Okay.
do answer and texts, and you'll get me all crazy hours in the night and crazy hours in the morning because I'm up late and up early.
I love it.
And Raider Team, RAIDERTEAMRE@gmail.com.
Perfect.
And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to connecting with anybody. I'm here for you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. All right, well, my cell also, just in case, 949-294-1061. If anybody wants to reach out to me directly, I'm happy to have a chat and a consult with you. And definitely reach out to Peter. He's got great insight just in the business in general, even if you're not ready for a coach yet, right? He's
Reach out.
amazing.
I'm happy to help you,
Yeah.
whoever you are. That's what this is all about, Cheryl. And
Yep.
you know, I love you guys, all of you, and
Thank you.
each
love
and every
you.
one. So,
Oh, thank you. Well, have an amazing rest of your Friday. Get those
thank you.
calls done.
Calls.
Make those calls. All right.
Dinner's already made. Dinner's already made tonight, so we're good on that one.
Good job.
Thank you.
Bye, Peter.
Bye. I'll speak to you later.
Okay.